Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
It's not an anti-police movement.
But is it an effort to stop what some call policing for profit? Stop the Shakedown is what supporters are calling Measure 53. If it does get on the ballot and passes, supporters say speed traps could disappear.
Fox 31 problem solver Rob Lowe explains how charities could benefit at the expense of law enforcement budgets.
Supporters of Measure 53 are convinced that too often law enforcement agencies, especially small departments, are ticketing people simply to collect revenue for the departments. But what if they couldn't keep all that revenue? What if all that money went to charity instead? If you think most speeding stops, red light cameras, and radar vans taking photos of passing cars all have more to do with collecting your cash than public safety, Measure 53 might be your ultimate revenge.
It stops things like speed traps. It stops unmarked traffic enforcement vehicles. All financially motivated enforcement goes away.
Steve PRUMMELL has been collecting signatures for months.
Go to a charity of your choice.
His band of Stop the Shakedown volunteers will have a hard time reaching that mark. Getting on the ballot is the tough part, but persuading voters, he believes, would be much easier.
Suggest a charity that the money would go to. I do like that idea.
It seems like a good idea. Our charities could always use more help.
Helping charities, be it the homeless or cancer research, might be the beauty of Steve's plan.
The ballot measure is going to make it so that government cannot keep a penny out of fines, forfeitures, or other financial penalties. But for example, if you get a speeding ticket and you want to give it to a homeless charity, that fully satisfies your fine. Once people understand this, they love it universally.
Well, maybe not all people. An analysis by the Colorado Legislative Council predicts the measure would cost state agencies $256 million. $250 million affecting education, transportation, natural resources, but mostly law enforcement budgets.
Mountain View definitely has a history of being notorious for policing for profit. Would you want to help us with a ballot initiative on fees?
We met Reagan Benson collecting signatures outside traffic court in tiny Mountain View.
I don't think they've been shy in needing to drum up revenue to maintain city functions for a 12 square block city.
According to Mountain View's own records, 55%. 3 weeks to go. Supporters admit they may not collect enough signatures this year, but if they don't, promise to try again in 2020. Rob Lowe, Fox 31.
Rob, thank you. New figures.
Revolutionary bill will remove incentive for profiteering cops by giving all fines to charity. A proposed measure would require all fines from traffic tickets and forfeiture to be donated to charity, removing the incentive for police officers to issue tickets in order to generate revenue. By Rachel Blevins, March 11, 2018. The fines collected from traffic tickets for offenses such as speeding, running a red light or being caught by a radar van in the state of Colorado, could soon go directly to charity if a new measure is passed. Measure 53 was created by the Stop the Shakedowns campaign as a way to deal with the rampant problem of police departments benefiting from an abundance of traffic fines and civil asset forfeitures, at the expense of the general public. The initiative argues that a conflict of interest exists when any entity of government enforces a law and at the same time receives the financial benefit via the activities of enforcement. These enforcement activities have created a mistrust of our law enforcement entities that must be corrected in order to restore a more peaceful and trusting relationship between the citizens of the state of Colorado and our enforcement entities. Some jurisdictions in our state routinely take advantage of laws strictly for the purpose of forcibly taking funds from the people for their own use. It is common practice for some regulatory entities within the state to fine businesses because they receive the benefit of the funds generated by these fines, forfeitures or other financial penalties. Steve Kerbel, chairman of Stop the Shakedowns, told Fox Denver that he believes the initiative could solve a serious problem, while also helping local communities. The ballot measure is going to make it so that government cannot keep a penny out of fines, forfeitures or other financial penalties, Kerbel said. If you get a speeding ticket and you want to give it to a homeless charity, that fully satisfies your fine. Once people understand this, they love it universally. If the measure becomes law, ticketed fines would either be used as restitution to the victim of the act, or if there is no victim, they would be donated to a registered and legitimate charity of the choice of the person ordered to pay fines, forfeitures or other financial penalties anywhere in the state of Colorado in which the person ordered to pay fines, forfeitures or other financial penalties has no financial self-interest, either directly or indirectly. Just how much money would law enforcement and other state government entities lose from the measure? The Colorado Springs Independent reported that the initiative would take more than $256 million away from state entities in fiscal year 2018-19, and more than $332 million in fiscal year 2019-20, which would explain why it is being met with resistance. Supporters of the measure, such as Stop the Shakedowns volunteer Reagan Benson, told Fox Denver that he wants to raise awareness about the need for a change in communities like Mountain View, Colorado. The town of around 530 residents relied on traffic fines to produce 55% of its budget in 2015. Mountain View definitely has a history of being notorious for policing for profit, Benson said. I don't think they've been shy in needing to drum up revenue to maintain city functions for a 12-square block city. Kerbel told the Colorado Springs Independent that he believes the success of this measure would benefit the state by reminding the public that they have a voice and can hold the government accountable, and by giving police officers the opportunity to actually serve the public and taking their focus away from generating revenue. The public will be reminded that the people still have a voice in how government is managed, instead of feeling helpless as most people do now. The people making ground rules for government is not something seen very often since the drafting of the Bill of Rights. Police officers will benefit, as the majority of police took their jobs to serve their communities. Today, their employers have required them to devote much of their time toward generation of revenue rather than community service. Critics of the measure argue that it will also take money away from public schools in the state. However, it should be noted that Colorado schools have benefited greatly in recent years from cannabis legalization. For the second year in a row, $40 million from taxes on legal cannabis sales went to a program to repair and replace rundown schools in 2017. Measure 53 requires more than 98,000 signatures from registered voters in Colorado by March 28, in order to appear on the November 2018 ballot.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So This is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.